Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about Seton. And yes, about the only time this guy gets used is for tribal druids. Now, as you know, druids most of the time tap for mana or do something with mana. They like untap lands or something. Druids are in tune with the land or the mana. So, that being said, Seton is kind of the go-to guy for your druid general. Um, First and foremost, obviously the first card that we even think about putting it in the deck is the Giftleaf Archdruid. Now, you play a druid, you draw a card, and that happens. That happens a substantial amount of the time. However, once you get 7 druids, woo, man, if that ain't kicking somebody in the face, I don't know what is. Just you tap 7 druids, so you need him in like 6, and you just take all their lands. That is a whole lot of not fair. Anyway, so let's go through the non-druid cards first. We're gonna have tribal unity, since we are playing, a tribe. Uh, Untapping all of our lands, or well, I say lands, all our creatures with Vitalize as an instant, and then, of course, Mobilize is your sorcery of the same, and then the Benefactor's Draw from the Commander series. Now, those are all just to get mass amounts of mana. Let's go through some staples here. We have Naturalize for those pesky enchantments that get it in your way. Needle Storm, of course. Vitalizing Wind is going to do, all kinds of work. Gaea's Blessing. The more and more I've been playing with this card, the more I like it. I mean, I know I've told you the story about the Oath of Druids deck way, way back when it first came out, and that was amazing. But just using this the way it was intended is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I played Gitrog Monster tonight, and I'm seriously thinking about putting it in there because of the dredge aspect. Um, but then again, I don't know. Worm Harvest doesn't really like not having a graveyard with. Anyway, I'm still pondering on that. Uh, Desert Twister and Creeping Mold is removal. Overrun. I mean, we're playing with like 35 druids, so Overrun, decent card. I felt like I had to do like the druids repository because I mean, it does have druid in the name. There's probably other cards that have druid in the name, but I'm just not thinking of it. Um, Alpha status, we're here again tribal, and the Steely Resolve is for tribal shenanigans. Blanchwood Armors, of course, we're playing mono green. Shamanic Revelation, or shamanic, whatever. Draw a bunch of cards because you have a bunch of dudes, and there's a good chance that you're going to trigger Ferocious as well. Now, Quest for Renewal is it's a Seedborn Muse almost. I mean, all your dudes are going to tap, or most of them tap for some kind of effect. Now, most of that effect is mana, so generating a lot of mana is pretty good. Gelatinous Genesis does a lot of work. Now, granted, it can get you. It does encourage a board wipe like nothing else. If you put out 10, 10, 10s, somebody's fixing to steal Hellkite you for 0 or something. It's a coming. But just in case that doesn't win you the game, I mean, for 101 mana, you can just insta win. Oh, I'm sorry. You got to live through your upkeep. You got to live to your upkeep. So, Zendikar Resurgence is going to help you get there with land, and you're casting creatures, drawing cards. So that's kind of a recurring theme. Is you play a druid, you draw a card. Maybe you draw 2 cards. Maybe you draw 83 cards. Who knows? Now, Enshrine Memories. There again, it's gonna net you a whole bunch of dudes. Now these last three enchantments, Hall of Gemstone, I absolutely love because, well, number one, it's Enchant World, and there's a warm fuzzy place in my heart for Enchant Worlds, but it hoses multicolor decks. Multicolor decks in this format, y'all know, have the advantage. You seriously cut off one arm by going monocolor, and it does hurt a lot. You don't have as many options to deal with threats in monocolor as you do multicolor, because you can make up for one color's weakness with the other color's strength, and that's fine. But this, bam, this turn, it's what you got. You pick a color, and that's all you can produce. It's really neat. Primal Order also kind of punishes the multicolor theme for because you can build like a 3-color deck and just like not have any basics in it. I mean, Primal Order can be just a beaten in and of itself. And then, of course, we have Ritual of Subdual. Now, it does have that nasty cumulative upkeep. Not that we're going to have a problem paying it. And we are playing mono green, but, most of our creatures tap for green mana, so don't really care if it just colorlesses every land on the board. Hey, I'm down with it. Now, Emerald Medallion is, of course, a pretty good staple. And Ronus' Monument anymore. I mean, you play a creature and your general gets +2/+2 in trample. That's how I read it. I could be wrong. Or whoever your fatty is that you just got to get through. That trample is amazing. Since we do have a lot of druids that tap for mana, probably at the end of the turn there's going to be a lot of tap dudes. And you know what? Each opponent, that's what makes this so strong. Each opponent. You don't have to single somebody out. You can potentially just do all kinds of damage. Predator Flagship. Here again, we're producing a lot of mana. And the ability to pass out flying as a diplomatic response for political reasons. If, a player is attacking another player that's, of course, not you. And the ability to give your guys flying when you need to bust through. And, of course, you shoot them down out of the air. Now, Mistress Helix is one of the most you just lock down a person. FYI, Paradox Engine would be in the deck if I had another copy. Because Paradox Engine with this, I would also do the Allure and Recycle thing with the Paradox Engine just to make it nasty. Anyway, let's get to our Druids. Now, there's a strong theme here for Elf Druids, because a lot of the Elf Druids do tap for mana. We have a lot of elves, so the Arch Druid is really good. Llanowar, Elvish, Fyndhorn. Arbor Elf might as well be a mana elf. The Priest. Now this, I love Priest of Time. I've played with it forever. All my original ones, I think, are already in decks, which is kind of weird because y'all are not seeing the decks in the order in which I built them, because there's no conceivable way for me to remember that. But I still look up here on this shelf and I see decks that are, 6, 7, 8 years old that I haven't covered yet. But Fyndhorn, Moldiah, Devoted Druid. By the way, Devoted Druid, I just found out yesterday this card has apparently spiked again. I believe it's because of Hapatra. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. This common Devoted Druid now is like a $10 bill. I don't know if it'll. It seems a lot like a card that they're going to throw as a common in a master set at some point in time. So I don't know. Now maybe the time to liquidate. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not a finance guy when I buy a card, I'm pretty much keeping it. You know, when I buy packs or boxes or whatever, I'm keeping the card. I do very little trading, except for, you know, I'll trade for like, you know, special things I'm looking for. Invocations, blue invocations right now, because y'all saw the Kefnet deck. I'm up to 4 blue invocations in it, and that's what I'm going for. Is I wanna bling that out as much as possible. Anyway, off topic, I know. Tree Speaker, you know, all your elves can be elders. The Groundskeeper even got a little bit of the energy guys in here, especially, you know, with the energy druid. Nantuko Disciple is pretty neat. Okay, no, not really, not even a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Gyre Sage. Hey, guess who's a druid? Werebear. I really like the old art, but I have a foil of this one, so that's, you know, that's kind of. Hey, y'all remember all those enchantments I had? The enchantresses are also druids, so threw a few of those in there. Maybe they hit, maybe they don't. If not, you know, hey, no harm, no foul. Farhaven Elf, the Pioneer, best turn 1 elf in the game. It's especially, by the way, Elvish Pioneer is especially good in other decks if you run like Stampeding Wildebeest or Stampeding Sero that allows you to return a green creature to your hand every turn. Is like this. There's Wood Elves and all kinds of cool stuff you can do with it. Oh, get in there. No Mage Advocate. Here again, this is a great political card. +1 for each black permanent your opponents control. Black is a super popular color. I would say in EDH, black is probably one of the top 5 colors. You know, just out of a guess. Thriss, well, you can tell I'm at an angle today. Thriss, that is a great combat trick. Yes, it's a combat trick they see coming. However, multiple attackers, multiple blockers, clogged up board state, and the fact that you can pass it out to an opponent's creature if you just need whatever's blocking it to die. Went way back with the Sentinel Druid here because, man, artifacts are a real thing, and so is this here glare. There we go. That's better. Zoologist, here again, we have 35 creatures, so that is a slightly better than 35% chance that your top card is going to be a creature. So otherwise, you know, it's just going to die. Paragon pumps our team and is a druid and passes out trample. This is amazing. It's all the things you want to do. Lay Druid untaps a land, of course. Sylvan Advocate. Not really. See, the turning lands into creature thing is kind of bittersweet for me. It scares me that somebody's going to Pyroclasm or Board Wipe or something, and I'm just going to be sitting there with nothing. And to me, this is a 2-mana 4/5 Vigilant, which is strong by itself. I don't need my lands to be 2/2s. Karametra's Acolyte is just can tap for a ridiculous amount of mana if you need it for your X spells or your whatever. And then last but not least is his buddy Rishkar because, you know, reasons. He's a druid. He's an elf. Creatures with +1 tap for mana. So that's what I've got. As far as non-basics, I have the 2 cycling lands, which are at most of the time, these are going to be, you know, spells, draw spells. And then Oran Reef. All the rest is pretty much basic forest. Not just basic forest, white border basic forest. Check that out. Look at that. White border. Sexy. Anyway, I do appreciate y'all watching Tribal Druids. There are, just a crazy amount of Druids out there. They're printing more all the time. It is a staple creature type that not a lot of people acknowledge. It does get better. I've seen a lot better. I just like the fun. Yeah, Coat of Arms. Coat of Arms straight up needs to be in there. But thanks to Tribal and EDH, Coat of Arms have, steadily been climbing, and they're increasingly harder and harder to get. Anyway, like I said, I do appreciate you watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.